Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Irons video. Myself and Sloth today, and I don't think we ever thought we'd be saying this name again, but Jesse Lingard, he might actually be signing for us. I mean, it came out that he was training with us to keep up his fitness over the last couple of days. Now it's starting to develop. There's talks that there could be now a potential deal on the cards, and Sean from West Ham Football tweeted this earlier saying that Jesse Lingard is now almost certain to sign a short-term contract with West Ham after impressing in training over the past week. Now, take that with a pinch of salt. We don't know how real it is. X hasn't confirmed anything yet, but Jesse Lingard, talk to me about that name, Sloth. What kind of feelings does that strike inside you when you hear that name?
Real disappointment, I think, is the main one. A lot of people are kind of trying to put a positive spin on the fact that he basically just messed us around. As a football club, we wanted him at the club. Moyes clearly wanted him. Like, he put trust in him. And let's face it, he basically just took the piss. And he joined Forest because they, showed him more love. I don't buy that. I think that's basically just, it's a code word for, that someone who knows they've made the wrong decision, or they have upset people, is basically just trying to deflect from. Mm-hmm. And look, I mean, the guy, he doesn't owe anybody anything, but I do kind of think that Moyes really put a lot of trust in him, and he gambled on taking him on loan. So if he was in any way sort of appreciative of that, he'd have joined us. And look, the guy clearly didn't care.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that all happened, and now we've kind of gone full circle. And Lingard was Moyes' top target after that loan spell for 3 transfer windows in a row, including one of the January ones. Like, we wanted him both summers. He wanted to stay at United the first time around. I think most West Ham fans accepted that because he wanted to try and fight for his place at Man United. Inevitably, that didn't work out. And then the chance to sign for us was there. There was strong talk that he was going to join us before he joined Forest. And I remember it was only, last minute that the reports started to come out that actually he's going to Forest. And we all knew why. It was because of this. It was because of money. And, he got a very, very nice, lucrative offer at Nottingham Forest for a short-term contract, regardless of whether Forest stayed up or not. And it just made sense for him financially to do that. And, that's fine if you choose to do that. That's your choice. But to now come back to us and start training with us and us even really entertaining it, I'm a little bit surprised. I'm not particularly happy with it. But how do you feel towards Lingard? And if he was to join, is it a move you could get behind, or is it something that you're always going to kind of begrudge because of what's happened?
I mean, look, he's not beating up his girlfriend, is he? He's so at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of footballers doing things and looking to rejoin teams, he's not done much. I think it's unfortunate how it's played out. I think there's a lot of ego involved and very poor judgment, and probably very, very bad people around him in terms of, we understand his father and it or was involved. And look, if he looked at his time at West Ham and thought, we need to get away from this, or was feeding him the notion that he could break through at Man United, I think there's something wrong there. But that being said, if we can get him on lower wages, if we can coax the Lingard out, as long as he doesn't start above some of the names we're being linked with, as long as he isn't, straight on the team sheet and back in the side, which I think would be outrageous, to be honest, with the way that other members of the squad have been throughout the course of last season, and the way they've handled the rotation or lack of playing time. I think for him to walk in would be disgusting.
I think it would happen, to be honest, Love. I think Lingard is that type of player to Moyes that he would. Remember when he first signed for us, he hadn't played that much football. There was a lot going on around him. He came straight in against Aston Villa, scored 2 goals, and that was it. But I just think he'll put that same trust in him to play in that role.
I can't see it for a few weeks. I think he we all know his sort of lifestyle, and that's not meant in a derogatory way. But he won't have had a pre-season. He's been training with us for a couple of days, but if Moyes thinks that's anywhere close to match fitness, I mean, that would be a bit of a question mark for me with his judgment. On the positive side, if he's on lower wages, he is a homegrown member of the squad. And if that kind of quells a lot of Moyes' transfer targets in terms of him wanting McTominay and Maguire, then for me, I think it's a massive plus, because he's a free agent. He's not going to cost us any transfer fee. He's literally just going to be a bit of wage. And if that means we're looking to put the sort of £40 million or £30 million that was rumoured about Maguire and McTominay towards someone else, I know they're different types of players. You don't have to tell me that in the comments, please. But I just think if that kind of quells Moyes' control over the transfers, it's a really good positive move.
I think that's what it kind of is. We've seen the targets that are now coming out and the moves we're maybe trying to make. Kudus being one of them. We don't know what's going to happen by the time this video comes out, but yeah, those kind of Steiden targets are starting to evolve now. Now, there's been a couple of the Moyes targets that have got through. Obviously Ward-Prowse was one. Alvarez was actually another that Moyes and Noble identified as well. So, I think Lingard coming in maybe is basically the compromise we've been talking about for the past few weeks in terms of Tim Steiden and Moyes' relationship in terms of, you have Lingard. He's going to come in as a free transfer, reduced wages, and I think it's going to be like performance-based, X said, and, bonuses. And, it's going to be very much Mark Noble at the front of, getting the best out of Lingard. But then you've got Tim Steiden working in the background, rumours that he was flying out to the Netherlands today to speak to Kudus. So it seems like it's starting to piece together a little bit. And, it's probably happening at the right time with what, just under 2 weeks left until the transfer window ends.
One thing I will say is that I'm going to give credit to Moyes. He is apparently a big fan of Kudus, and he was also part of the kind of like decision making and letting Steiten take control of this transfer. So
it'd be hard not to be a big fan of Kudus, to be fair.
Yeah, we've heard his judgment on people like Maddison. So I think you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But the fact that he is behind it and Steiten and him are on the same page with this, I think is a real positive. Kudus coming in. If we're going to rotate in Lingard, and particularly while Kudus is away at AFCON, if he is fully fit and we get that that January spell of Lingard, I think West Ham fans will soon forget, and we would probably be looking at him staying for a longer term if he put in those levels of performance. Unless
I think that's the way I kind of see it as well with the Lingard situation. I'm kind of sat here. I don't particularly want him to join. I'd be happy if he didn't, but if he did, I feel like if he started performing well, a lot of people, including myself, would forget about what's happened with the Forest thing. As long as he's performing on the pitch and giving his all while he's at West Ham, I don't think any West Ham fan would particularly remember the before. I mean, it's very quick, myself included in when I say this with West Ham fans, we can change our opinions very quick on players. Arnautovic was the key example. Remember everything he did in January. And then he started performing again, from January to summer, and we didn't want to sell him. And then he went. We wanted him to stay. So there's things that happen in football. I mean, Payet, again, I'm sure a lot of West Ham fans would have taken him back. So there's a lot that happens in football. But do you think these actual moves like Lingard are to kind of bolster the squad, or do you think they're probably being lined up as Paqueta replacements because he's likely going to be heading to Man City?
I think they're there to bolster the squad. Look, he's not going to come in on a long contract, so I think that is a real message to him in terms of how the club view him. I think it should also be a bit of a message to the fans to basically say, look, we're not just taking the guy back and welcoming him with open arms. It is also a case that I think if you're looking at Lingard as a Paqueta replacement, I mean, Tim Stratton's clearly been bringing some stuff back from Amsterdam, if that's the case,
Yeah.
because that is very worrying. But I think he could be a great addition in terms of squad bolstering if you do get the Lingard we saw at West Ham. Again, I mentioned he's homegrown, which is a big plus for us. It does mean that we have a bit more freedom with other targets. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it potentially meant that someone in our attack was off.
Yeah.
Whether it's someone like Antonio or maybe Cornet or
Even Benrahma or Fornals, to be honest.
Yeah, whether it was someone like that, I wouldn't be surprised if it meant we were open to shifting someone along.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's going to be interesting. I keep saying it. It's going to be interesting in the next few days, and it is, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. You know, we're looking to recruit centre back, attacking options. So lots of movement. By the time we film this, there's probably going to be another development. And by the time this comes out, I mean, but yeah, Jesse Lingard, let us know in the comments what you think about this potential move. Would you get behind it? Can you forgive him for what he did going to Forest instead of West Ham last summer? Let us know in the comments. Leave a like on the video. As always, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, Sloth, until next time.
Come on, you irons.